Ashley Gordon, my dear friend. Welcome to the Life with Liz podcast. Yay.
Hi, I'm so excited.
This is
Love you.
amazing.
Love Liz. Love
Love
life with
you too.
Liz.
For everyone listening, Ashley was my main coach in the Quantum Coaching Academy where I got all of my certifications that I'm so proud of, and her and her team are incredible, and that's why you're here. You have literally changed my life in so many
Mm,
ways, and I want to tell everyone about it.
so sweet. Thank you. I'm so grateful the universe like had us cross paths and
Yeah.
like support your ripple effect because you're doing such big things and I'm just so grateful to be part of your journey.
Yes, we love the ripples.
I
I'm so
love it.
grateful that you're a part of my journey too. It's phenomenal. So, for everyone listening, tell us a bit about who you are and what your magic is.
Oh my God. So, I'm a mama. I have a baby boy and I'm pregnant with my second baby on the way. Baby girl is coming. So I'm following in your footsteps. Um, and I have a business that I started back in 2015, or I'm sorry, 2017, which is called, now it's called the Quantum Coach Co. And we are an education company for coaches. We train the next generation of coaches to become world class at what they do. And I think my magic is in my ability to help other coaches learn deep facilitation skills and tools and processes and help them help their clients on a much deeper level and create like a safety within their coaching relationships, but also within like the coaching industry as a whole and really disrupt the industry because there's a lot of BS out there.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I do so many things. I don't even know where to start.
Well, and you started in yoga, right?
Yes,
Like that's
yes,
where you kind of got your practice going, and then it became more of like the intuitive manifestation, and then you got into coaching, right? That's kind of the turn
yes,
that it took.
yes. I was working in real estate for a long time and I was miserable. I was just not in my purpose, not in my calling. And like, I'm sure all of us can relate to being in a job that just doesn't feel like it's what you're supposed to be doing in this life. And the pain of that got so great that I was like, I need a change. I need to do something different. And so I found yoga. I ended up becoming a yoga teacher. And then that's what led me to find coaching, where I was like, oh, I really like helping people transform on the yoga mat and leave feeling different than the way that they came. You know, when you go to a workout class and you go in with a certain vibe and you leave and you're like, I feel so much better. Most of the time that happens, right? Sometimes we feel more out of it, but most of the time we feel better. And that kind of led me to just personal development, right? The yoga training was the first thing that opened my eyes to spirituality and doing deep inner work and looking at myself and being like, what makes me really happy? What makes me feel like I'm in my purpose? And I was always interested in manifestation and mindset and all of that, but I never knew how to connect it to something other than like getting free drinks at the bar, manifesting like epic parking spaces or, you know, I I started to put it towards like what's my purpose? What's my bigger calling? Why am I here? I don't have to stay in a job that I'm miserable at. What do I really want to do? And I started asking bigger questions and those questions led me to like coaching and the next thing and the next
Yeah.
thing and the next thing. It like led me on this beautiful journey.
Yes, I love it. Following your intuition, which is so much of what I want to talk about here today, because that's ultimately why I found you, how I found you and like
Yeah.
jumped inside of QCA. I had just hosted GlowCon for the first time, and my business brain was like, you need certifications on paper. And that's all I was seeing was like that part of it. But then when we spoke and I signed up and I jumped into like the community and the learning, it became this whole personal development and self-discovery experience on top of the coaching experience that I was getting too. So the worlds merged, and I
Yeah.
also had that feeling in my gut that just kind of kept taking me down that road. Like it sounds like you were experiencing too.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool when you go to get certified in something like whether it's QCA for coaching or yoga certification, or if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I'm really interested in sound healing, or I'm really interested in whatever it is, and you're curious about something, following that intuitive nudge and that intuitive curiosity is always a good idea, right? Like that passion will lead you to the next thing, even if that's not the thing, you know? Like yoga ultimately wasn't the thing, but it was the vehicle that I needed to get me to where I am today, you know? So, and you develop along the way. Like you're learning a skill set that you can use, but in that process, you're getting so much of your own transformation that it's just like kind of mind blowing. It's a very parallel process, I would say.
Yeah, mind blowing for sure. Can we talk about like we keep talking about like getting the feeling and following the feeling, and that comes up in this industry a lot. Like it's all over Instagram, it's in every
Yeah.
trending post. It's like follow your heart, follow the feeling. So I want to try and break that down at a more granular level, and maybe you can help me. But like, how can someone who is new to this stuff deepen their intuition? Like
Mhm.
what how would that physically present? And I'm sure it's subjective. It's different for everyone. But
Yeah.
are there certain tells?
I mean, number one, you have to understand, like, I think a lot of people have this gut reaction of like, I'm not intuitive. Like a
Mhm.
lot of people, I feel like it's one way or the other. Some people are like, I'm not intuitive, and someone else is like, I'm so intuitive,
Yeah.
but I don't listen to it. You know,
Mhm.
like I already knew that was going to happen, or I saw that coming. You know, like we have, obviously, we all do have this like innate intuition, and it's a muscle. We gotta build it up. We gotta practice it. I mean, I could speak for myself in that, like, for me, I have learned over the years how my intuition speaks to me. And it's very, very, really so subtle. Like, it's so subtle, it almost feels like a feather. Like, I could miss
Mm.
it. It's like a feather across my head that, like, is like, wait, what was that? Or
Yeah.
like an image will flash, or I'll hear something and I'll get this like nudge. Or it shows up as this like deep, deep knowing that's like it shows up for me as a yes or a no in my system, where it's like,
Mm.
you want to do this? Yes. Do you want to do that? No. And I know now that that's what I have to follow, but I only learned that by not listening for a very long time. So if you're hearing
Yeah.
this and you're like, wait, that's confusing, like, of course it's going to say yes, but the thing is you actually have to listen to the yes. You
Mhm.
have to know how to move on that yes that you get. I don't know if that's like landing, but for me, I've heard the feeling and I felt the feeling, and then I've doubted the feeling. And self-doubt has been like my biggest blocker to my intuition.
Yeah, and then, the universe being the universe just sends you the lesson over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, until you freaking get it.
Until I am like 35 and writing another entry in my journal, like, oh my God, this is happening again. What the hell? So, yeah, I think what Ashley is saying too is it resonates with me as well. You kind of know yourself best the more you practice this, and
Yeah.
you know what the feeling is when it's like a yes, and you know what it's like when you're doubting the yes when it should.
I also think that like if you're like really new to understanding your own intuition, and your life doesn't feel like it's in alignment, like you feel like something is off, or you feel stuck, or you feel like you keep repeating a pattern over and over again, that's a really good indicator to kind of ask yourself, just like, what makes you happy? I know it's like a simple question, but what is your passion? What is your bliss? I have a tattoo, one tattoo, and it says follow your bliss, but the whole quote is follow your bliss and the universe will open doors where there were only walls,
Oh,
by Joseph Campbell. And it's true, right? Like if we step back from the shit and the pain and the drama and like all the nonsense that so many of us deal with in our lives, just through our relationships or whatever, or the stories in our own head, um, it's a clear indicator for me when things don't feel good in your life that you're not listening to your intuition. So like stepping back and just being like, very simply, like, what actually makes me happy,
mm-hmm.
and getting
Yeah.
clear. Yeah.
And I think too, when people hear that term, follow your intuition, they think that they have to do something big and drastic. Like that's what following your intuition is. Like, oh my gosh, I need to like up and quit my job without a plan.
Mm.
Or I think there's just kind of some some shadow around this
Mhm.
terminology. There was for me, like when I first got into this. And then the more I got to know myself, the more I realized, like, oh, taking a 15-minute nap today
Yeah.
feels like inspired action for me versus forcing myself to work this extra 15 minutes on something that I can't even focus on, you know?
Oh,
So,
so true.
right?
I follow it in that way too, where I used to even a nap, like if I used to
Yeah.
take a break and lay down, I'd be like, this is actually more productive than anything else I could be doing right now. And this is gonna open my channels to receive more and like be, a higher frequency or higher vibration to what I want. So yes.
Hmm.
Yes. It's those little moments too that's like, oh, make a laugh, not all right. Or you should go to this coffee shop today. This is crazy. So last summer I was driving and I was like, I really wanted coffee. The coffee shop that I love was closed. So then I was like, all right, I guess I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts, which is like so not my thing. But I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I live very close to the beach and boardwalk. So I got my coffee and I just heard this voice in my head say, drive down to the beach. I drove. I was just like, I don't know, like, where did that come from? That wasn't my plan. I was just going to go home and go back to work. So I drive down to the beach. I park my car. I go up on the boardwalk and I'm sitting on the bench, just like taking it in. It's a nice, beautiful day, looking at the ocean, watching the people. All of a sudden, I see two people walk by that I have not seen in like maybe 10 years. They were like long lost cousins of mine.
What?
Like long lost cousins. Like we all looked at each other. We were like, what? Oh
What?
my God, this is so crazy.
That's
It
wild.
was mind blowing. But had I not listened in that moment to be like, actually, yeah, I'll just like go down to the beach. That's just what a voice in my head just told me. I sound like a freak right now, but like I'm just gonna listen.
Well, that's how it works for you. And most
That's how it works for me. And I couldn't, I literally, Liz, I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing. And wasn't there another time, I think that you posted this on your stories, you went to the beach intuitively and you were sitting alone and you could smell cigarette smoke or something, and someone that
Yes.
you knew like passed away, like your grandmother or something, like she was sitting with you or something?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cool. All
You have a good
right, I hope
memory.
it's okay that I just shared that with in a public.
100%, 100%. It happens. Stuff like that happens all the time. Even before I was really into any of this stuff, like understood manifestation, I remember studying abroad in Italy and I kept having this like weird vision walking down the street of somebody mugging me, like somebody like taking my bag. And it was irrational. It was just like there was nobody there. Like I just was like, I would jump and I would be freaked out. And I'm like, okay, just calm down. Like there's nobody there. There's nobody there. This was happening for probably a week and a half. And then one night, sure enough, coming home 3 in the morning, some guy, big jacket, just like swiped my wristlet. Remember the wristlets?
Yep.
I had my digital camera in there.
Damn it. The
Thank God
memory.
my BlackBerry wasn't in there.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah.
Throwback.
It's so wild as you uncover all these truths about yourself, that like what happens spiritually, and you can have
Yeah. Right.
whatever belief you want to have. You can believe in God, you can believe in universe, source, however you choose to define it. It doesn't matter. What's really cool is that the universe accepts it no matter what, and you will have certain synchronicities and signs like this in your life show up that are proof that following your intuition is like, yes, good. It's like being confirmed, right? I know that's a
Right.
prime sign too with manifestation, which is you're
Yes.
so well versed in.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's interesting too because for a lot of those instances that I didn't listen, like I have a lot of stories about like someone like swiping my wristlet, like other stories like that where I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to listen to that. I didn't know how to be aware of that. And
Mhm.
it's a learning for next time. It's a way to kind of prepare yourself of like, okay, this is real. This is how your intuition talks to you. So like pay attention.
Mhm. Definitely. And I know we have a lot of listeners too that are so curious about manifestation and getting, dipping their toes into this pool. So, can you just give everyone a brief overview of what manifestation even is, or like what
Yeah.
a manifestation is? Maybe an
Yeah.
example or two.
Love that. So I like to talk about manifestation as the end result of creation. So where we're at right now in this current reality, this is a manifestation of your past thoughts, feelings, energies, frequencies, emotions, like all of that, who you believe yourself to be, your limiting beliefs, like it's all a culmination of the past essentially.
Mhm.
So, the present is almost, yes, we're in the present, but it's also a reflection of the past in a way. So manifestation is using your energy, using your thoughts, using your belief systems and identities to create something deliberately, right? To create what you actually want. Manifestation happens either way. Like it doesn't matter if you know about it or not. You're manifesting all the time, whether you think about it, believe it, don't believe it, whatever. It's still happening. It's just the natural laws of the universe. And it's really powerful that you're a creator. You get to create your reality.
Yes. Yeah. That's the part that people so often forget about is that it's happening all the time, manifestation.
Mhm.
But if you want it to work for you, you need to be proactive about it. Like, and that's getting comfortable with declaring your desires, which is not easy for everyone. It certainly was not easy for me in the beginning.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
really funny because the one of the first workshops I ever led, I asked them in the workshop, like, do you ever write down your desires? And people literally thought I meant to-do lists. They were like, "Wait, yeah, I write that down every day. I write down, like, I have to do my laundry." Like, no, no, no. Like, do you write down what you want in your life? Not what you have to get done, not like
Mhm.
what you want to get done, but more so like how you want your life to feel and how you want your relationships to feel and how much money you want to make and what kind of relationship you want to have with your kids and what kind of relationship do you want to have with your husband and what or partner, just all these different aspects of life. If you think about the wheel of life, your
Mhm.
health and your fitness, your finances, your relationships, your career, all of those facets of who we are, like, do you write down what you ultimately would love to have in those areas? And people were just like, no, I don't. And I'm
Well,
like,
that must have been a very interesting workshop for you to lead. Oh
it
my God.
was great. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do that. I mean, it's life changing for people.
Yeah. It's so freeing when you declare your desires. Like I've hosted vision board workshops and I'll go around the room and with permission just kind of peer around because it is a very personal process to declare your desires.
Yeah,
Um,
scary.
and I'll be like, "Is that like what you really want?" And she's like, there was this one guest who was trying to manifest like horse riding lessons like
Well,
once a month. And I was like, "That's great, but what do you really want?" And I kind of helped her unpack like the dream horse girl life, right? I'm like,
yes.
this is your place to play. This isn't your place to like judge yourself as you're writing down the thing and feeling shame about it because it's going to be counterproductive, the manifestation, right? So it's really getting yourself comfortable with that anything is possible energy, which is what you and I and all the other coaches that you've taught, quantum coaches, that's
Yeah,
where we play the
that's
anything
where
is
we
possible field, right?
yes. Yeah, the quantum field where literally
See?
all realities exist.
Yes.
I mean,
It's
I can get into that woo-woo stuff, but I know.
I mean, I'm game. I love that so much. And I've dabbled in it in other episodes, but it's at a point where I'm like, it's how far do you go? You know? And it's such a for me, it was like this really foreign thing like a year or
Yeah.
two ago. And then I realized just by listening to myself and my body and my tells and my intuition, all the stuff that we're talking about, like the answers are within. And when I
Mhm.
listen to that, like I jump timelines and
Yes.
these really incredible ways. And I totally believe everything, like I don't understand how it can't not be possible. Like
You
it's
can't unsee it once you
no,
know
you
it.
can't unsee it 100%.
I love that. Jumping timelines is like it's easier than most people think, but they just have to understand and believe that all timelines exist and all timelines are possible for them.
Yeah.
That's where like the inner work pieces come in.
Yes, and that, my friends, is the power of having a coach guide you through this stuff. If you're hearing
Mm,
us and you're like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" This is why we're doing what we do because
yeah,
we have the expertise and the modalities to kind of walk you through this stuff.
so
But
true.
I think at its core level, there's so much groundwork that you can lay before you even dive into that, which is really exciting. There's so many resources. There's so many people you can
I
talk.
mean, this podcast is an amazing resource.
Thank you.
Like, you're listening to this right now, you're doing a great job. Good
Good
job being
job.
a resource.
Good job. I love it. Um, yeah, there's so many ways that we can go, but I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole with that one. But just if you're curious, just Google quantum field, quantum timelines, and have yourself a ball. There's so many fantastic books and resources you can jump into. And I think too, I just want to make a note on this because I've seen this come up a lot, like in Google searches. I do like bananas SEO for this podcast, right? So
Wow.
I prep every episode knowing the person and I let my intuition lead as I'm doing it. But then I also like dive into the depths of search engine optimization. I'm like, what are people actually typing into Google about manifestation or
Yeah.
alignment? And so with manifestation, and I wanted to ask you this, what comes up a lot is this term manifestation versus faith. Like people think that if they choose to be a manifester proactively, like we're talking about,
Mhm.
that it goes against like their religion. It goes against the Bible. It goes against, pick your sect, right? So I just wanted to, I know that's kind of a heavy topic and whatnot, but I just found that so interesting because in my eyes, I think manifestation simply elevates your current beliefs. It doesn't mean you have to change them, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Like it's not some crazy thing where it's not like a cult. Like it's just a practice.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Energy.
it really has nothing to do with religion at all. You can have your faith in your religion and be a really powerful manifester at the same time where like one doesn't cancel the other one out. It's an amplifier, as you're saying, where
Mhm.
like manifestation helps you really get clear on like what are the limits that you're putting on yourself
Mm.
and what are the thought patterns that are not serving you, that keep looping, that are keeping you stuck, and how can you clear those so you can be an energy match for your highest paycheck or for your amazing relationship or for literally anything that you want, any experience you want to have. Um, and, you know, people are like, okay, well, what is this energy? Is it God? Is it
Mhm.
universe? Is it source? It is God if you want it to be. Like it can be whatever you resonate with. Like truly. I personally resonate with all the above. I'm like, yes, God,
Yeah.
yes, source, yes, universe, like all of it.
Rain down on me, yes.
Yeah. I accept it all. I like Jesus too.
Yep.
Like all of it, like it's
Yes.
fine. So I truly believe it is an amplifier to your faith and to really help you, like your faith will help your manifestations and your manifestations will help your faith.
Yeah. I agree 1,000,000%. And I just find it so interesting that, what people are searching for and the fact that there are people searching for stuff like this is like proof enough of their limiting thought patterns, like that there's
Mm,
something inside them that tells them that they have to choose, that they can't have it all, like it's
yes, it's so
really
true.
interesting. Yeah. Do you want to tell everyone really quickly like what a limiting belief is? Because that's kind of
Yeah.
where this is going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, a limiting belief is essentially something that sounds like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not important, I'm not lovable, I'm not fill in the blank, right?
Mhm.
And what that was created from was a decision that you made at some point on your timeline where you decided that you weren't that thing. So let's just say you were little and something happened where your parents or someone in your life made you feel less than, and you decided at that point that you weren't good enough. And that turned into a belief system that you then carried with you for the rest of your life. And then what happens is um, we create evidence for ourselves in our life that kind of reflect that back to us, where instances with situations, circumstances, relationships will come up that will continue to embed that belief into your psychology and into your identity where you truly operate from that place of believing you're not enough. So that's
Right.
like the deep inner critic. That's like the deeper belief system. But we have like different limiting beliefs all the time. Like, I don't have enough time to do everything I want to do, or I don't have
Mm,
enough money to do this, or I don't have enough, right? All of these are like apples from the apple tree, but like the root is
mm.
not enoughness.
Yes, the root cause, baby.
Yeah, the root cause. Yeah.
Yeah, and in manifestation, if you want to manifest anything that you desire, it requires you to release those limiting beliefs and
Definitely.
having the tools to change your thought patterns. And when you do that, consistently over time, every single day, even if it's so much as, deciding not to gossip like you usually do with that friend at the end of the day, right? Even little tiny
Shifts.
tweaks like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally change the trajectory of your life and allow you to jump timelines. And, I think what's going on with me this year is like a prime example of the work that I've done on myself. Like, I fully believe in shit like ascension sickness and like quantum
Yeah.
thing and all of that. And like, everything for me, based on what I've documented, just tracks. So I just know, even though I'm going through a season of life that is super difficult, I'm seeing it as my expansion because I'm doing the work on releasing those limiting beliefs and dredging up all the gunk, right? As you
Mm.
say, the gremlin energy. So
Yeah. And
it's yeah.
something that I did in the beginning was I realized like you have to become really aware of where you're putting your energy. What's your point of attraction, right?
Mhm,
So when you're thinking about creating something, think about what am I putting my energy towards that's not really in service to what I'm creating. So, for example, when something would go, I had like a really tough relationship with my in laws when I first started dating my husband, and it was toxic for me. And I just would complain about it all day, all night. Anyone who would listen, I would call my mom, and then I would call my best friend, then I'd call my other friend, and then I'd see someone outside and I'd tell them about that
mhm,
because I wanted to feel validated and feeling like I wasn't crazy. But I would complain about the same things over and over and over again, and I would perpetuate that negative reality. So you can manifest something that you're complaining about by like perpetuating it over and over and over again by talking about it. So just like you were saying, not choosing not to gossip, choosing
mhm.
not to complain, choosing not to, like it's good to vent and get it out and release the energy, but if you're talking about it over and over again, you're going to create it over and over again.
Yeah, that's right. And it's gonna keep happening. The law of patterns, right? It's just gonna keep happening over and over again, a different version
Yeah.
of it. You're gonna get more to complain about, more to gossip about, more to make you feel like shit. So, yeah. So when you said too, you're manifesting at all times. This is what we want you guys to keep in mind is
Yeah.
it's so much like matters what you're keeping in your conscious awareness all the time, your energy and what you're thinking to yourself and what you're thinking of others, all of that matters. And I think when you release it to the universe and you decide to be more proactive about it, which is what we're advocating for here,
Mhm.
your intuition, like we were talking about at the beginning, is going to heighten, right? That's like
Totally.
core theme of this conversation is like our goal is helping you hear that inner voice a lot louder all the time and make those decisions for you a lot easier so that you're not living in constant fear and hesitation of like, did I do the right thing? It's like you just
Yeah,
know. You just know.
you just know. And when you start to release some of these limitations that you place on yourself, release some of the complaining, release some of the gossip, release some of the things that weigh you down, by not repeating them over and over again, what happens is your energy starts to sorry, we're going a little starts to vibrate. Like your energy starts to lighten. And
Mhm.
so all that heaviness that was once there is no longer there. And so when your energy becomes lighter, and think about food, right? If we eat a heavy meal, we feel heavy. If we talk about heavy things and gossip and we're negative, we're going to feel heavy. If we let that shit go and we start to, eat lighter and feel lighter and be lighter, what's going to happen is you become more magnetic. So when you start to like trust your intuition more and you take a step here because you feel that that's the right thing for you, or you decide to do this other thing, whatever it is, you're trusting, you're taking steps in that direction, that makes you what we call in manifestation an energetic match for your desires, where it feels like you actually don't have to focus on what you want so hard because you're naturally attracting things because you are in a lighter frequency.
Yeah. And just like surrendering, like not
Yeah.
dwelling on it all the time, right? It's one
Let
thing
it
to
go.
declare a desire and just say, I want a black Range Rover and a mountain house. But if you're every day you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I want that so bad. Like you're coming from a place of desperation and you're gonna attract more experiences that make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Whereas, when you just release and you surrender, you say, I want it, and you're monitoring your energy, like you said, you're going to become an energetic match for.
Because you're becoming the type of person that can receive that.
Yes.
It's not like you're not coming from this desperate energy. You're actually coming from the becoming, right? Like you're actually becoming the person who has those things and lives that life
Mm,
without needing it right
yeah.
now.
Yes. And unbecoming who you're not, which is like my favorite thing ever. I have a whole episode about that. I'm like,
Ooh.
becoming who you really are. Like you already are her. You're just like releasing all the shit that no longer serves you, and it's allowing you to step into this like ultimate version of who you are, the person who can manifest whatever she wants and leads with her intuition for every single thing
Mhm.
and feels absolutely no shame and no guilt about it. Like that for me is alignment. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
that was a big thing for me in the beginning, the shame and the guilt around like wanting
Oh,
what I wanted. Wanting
totally.
what I wanted.
Yes. It still lingers sometimes. I'm like, ooh, that's a little too big. I need to like go back to my little ladder of believability, as Catherine Zenkina has taught us. I'm just like, all right, let's knock that down just a peg. But I think the awareness of it too is like really powerful.
Yes.
It's like fun to play around with. So there's just so many opportunities with all of the topics that we're talking about. But my friends, we are at the end of this episode. Believe it or not, we have to let Sweet Ashley go and rest. So rest. I don't know how you can be pregnant and do things. I was like the worst pregnant person ever. Um,
Really? I don't believe it. I
I
don't
said
believe
no to
it.
everything. I was like, I'll say yes to the pool because I'm weightless inside of a pool.
That's true. I look forward to that this summer.
Yes, it's going to be glorious. Um, so before we dip out, let everybody know what you've got coming up and how they can stay in touch with you.
Yes. So we have a lot of great new things happening right now. One of them is I have a new masterclass. If you're curious about coaching and you've heard Liz talk about it and you're like, this life coaching thing, this spiritual coaching thing, it's like really tooting my horn and you want to follow that intuitive nudge to learn more about it, I have a free training that I will give Liz. It will be in the show notes.
Mhm.
Join us. It's called the Quantum Coach Blueprint. And that's really lighting me up right now. And I'll be hanging out in that training for quite some time.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm on Instagram at the quantum.coach. I on my website, the quantum.coach. So come find me, hang out.
Ashley, thank you so much. This was so special. I admire you so much. I mean,
I admire you so much.
I mean, it's just been such a fun journey.
Yeah, it has been.
1 year ago, we were having this call and
Yeah.
you were like trying to onboard me into QCA, and I was so scared. I was like, I don't know, can I do it? Can I spend this? I don't know. And I would have spent 3 times that,
Mm.
and where it got me today. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, for your time today, and for helping everyone out on this
It's so
podcast.
funny because I was just like gathering some screenshots that I have on my computer, and there's one from you that I
Oh,
have, and it said QCA is the best gift I ever gave myself, and I was like,
oh,
well, I love that reframe because I know it was such a journey for you, and like, yeah, it was a gift. It is a gift to give
it
yourself,
is.
and now look how many people you're giving it back to. So it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
It's the gift that just keeps on giving, baby.
That is true. Love it, love it,
Love
love it.
it. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.